Okay, right, here we go then. Just a quick run through. This is just a dummy run before I get the run. I'm going to open, this is a file that Bob Barra sent me, and just going to quick go through the work through rather, that I've already been through it once, and I've just printed out the workflow from within the StarTools file system, so I'm slowly going through it bit by bit. I'm choosing linear and was Bayard but not white balance, the second one. I don't know why, it just seems to always work for me. So that was the first step. Second step, always do this, a quick auto develop, so at least you can see what's what. Ooh, wow. So we'll keep it for a minute. Just keep that. Looks pretty interesting. My next step is to crop it, just in case there are any nasties in here. If I can find the crop tool module. And I'm just doing it quickly, so it's a bit like when you do it in Photoshop. You just sort of get rid of any artifacts that might be around the edge, so I've kept that. And my next stage, I'm just going to do a quick bin and go to the, I'm just going to accept whatever StarTools decides I need. So the bin module's here, bin it, I think it usually defaults to 50, it does, 50%, so I'm going to keep that for now. Now the fun starts. StarTools has the wipe module to get rid of gradients, artifacts and all these other nasties that turn up. So I'm leaving everything as it is, and I'm just going to go into the wipe module and see what we get. So I'm just going to do a quick do button. I'm going to keep that. So I've kept this. Now this is where the process gets can be quite interesting. So but just to show you, you can do a quick auto dev, redo the global stretch, look at it. You can take a region of interest, but you can see that it still looks a bit almost there. There's still loads of anomalies, but you don't have to keep that, so we can cancel it. And if I do an undo, that will also undo the wipe. So now I can go back in and do another wipe. And increase my dark anomaly filters. I'm just checking to see if I decided to no, I've gone right the way through. I've gone in and out of wipe a few times, but just to check that if I can improve things a wee bit. I'll keep that little rascal. have a look. Auto dev it. You can auto dev it again. Redo the stretch. So see, we've got this awful vignetting thing. So I'll cancel it. Undo the wipe again. Go back in. So you can. There's no. So if we can get rid of the color cast. What I'm trying to do is find an image that's acceptable, and what I'm looking at is my auto dev. Just redo it. So this time I've chosen the vignetting option. Sorry, I pressed do twice. Keep that. Go into my auto dev. And sometimes we can go into our auto dev and say we're happy with it and all the rest of it. Personally, I think I prefer to go into the develop module, redo the global stretch. And as for my pal Nigel Gilchrist, always recommends going down to 90 or reducing the gamma by a few first. Develop. Press home in a few times. That should bring us in a bit. There we go. Looks quite pretty, doesn't it? I've got loads of dusty stuff going on around there. You can always, it will home in to what it thinks is the optimum for you anyway. But you can always, if you blast it, I think actually on a few occasions homing in seems to be not too bad in this case, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to keep it. While I'm in this stage now, I'm just going to do a quick deconvolution. Generate the mask automatically. See what turns up. It takes a while for this to do its biz. There's loads of noise around. You can see all this mottling effect. There's loads of noise in here, but we're not really fussed about all that. That's done nice. Got a before and after. Not much going on there. Oh well. That's just the standard, so I've just go with the flow and say that's okay. Don't forget we've got that deconvolution in our mass now. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to flip over my sheet of paper. Next stage, to try a bit of HDR. Not much going on there, but if done such a good job, nothing, the HDR has no effect on it. Well, if it has a little bit, you can see a bit going on in here. There's before, after. I'm going to keep that for now. I'm going to have a go into the colour module. I'm going to fill the mask as well. See what we get in here. This is ridiculous because it's coming out really well without any flash masking technique or anything. The colours are looking really, really neat. You can change it to artistic detail. Now this now we're stuck with the which do we prefer? The artistic detail or scientific colour consistency? Personally, I quite like that. There is the alternative we can try. That was the saturation amount is 200, so we could just boost it up while in the artistic one and see what happens, and you'll find that it'll gradually, you can get a compromise between the scientific and the artistic detail. So you can just, this is all just personal preference. This is, in a way, it's, so that's 407 on artistic. If I go back to scientific, it's much brighter, isn't it? So I'll go, oh, it will be, sorry. That's on 407. If I go back to the scientific at 200, spoiled for choice now. I can always take it down a bit. It's not set in stone anyway, because we can always come back later and tweak it. Don't know why I quite like that, so I'm just going to keep it. Just having a look in the HDR module again, see if anything else can be tidied up in here. The reveal all is the standard one that it's going to come out with. I'm going to keep it. Quite love it. As an example, we can go back into the colour element. Say we wanted just to affect this, the actual galaxy in this case. So if we go into the mask, clear it, just zoom down a little wee bit, and there's several ways of, so we just want to play with the galaxy for now, so we click down here, we can, the standard sort of method is to lasso it. You can lasso, grow. So now if I keep this, whichever module I decide to use, it's only going to work on the green bit. So if I go back to that HDR and you can see the effect it's having after, before, after. Slightly sharper, isn't it? Obviously keep it for the heck of it for now. Back into my colour module. I'll keep the mask. See what happens. So our colours, so we can boost our colours by using the mask, tame our colours. So I'm going to cancel that and also undo the effect I had on here using the HDR. My favourite module, one of my favourite ones, is the contrast module. It effectively acts, it's very similar to using the white module. So we can just, you can see the difference in that now straight away. It's tidied at the back. The only thing I'm worried about, what I tend to be conscious of, we need to watch the colours of the stars while you're continuously processing stuff. So for example, if I go back into the mask module, clear it, do an auto, but I just want to do it on stars. I don't know, I'll get in a mention here. If I invert it, the only bits that any module will work on now will be the green bits. So I've tried to get rid of some of the stars, grow it. If I keep that, now go back into the colour module, keep the mask, but even now I can go back into my mask, invert it. So all I want to do is add some colour to the stars, keep it. So now my galaxy remains as it is, and I can just have a look at my stars, tidy them up, or I don't want to lose colour in them, so I can boost them. There's a lot more red now. Don't forget we can look in here and cap our green. Using the max. All I'm doing is tweaking some star colours here. I think we went a bit too mad on the... So it's just a heads up that you don't want to... I personally, I love them. Colours in the stars, and you see so many people post images up there and all the stars are white. Well, I suppose being a visual artist myself, and I kind of like my stars to be a nice colour. This is the sharpen wavelet, just going into that, but there's no reason why we can't go back into a module once you've done it. So it does work, the sharpen one. There is a keep that. gone back into the contrast one again. Keep my dark anomalies up a bit. See what happens. I'm leaving the mask as it is because I don't think it does anything to affect. I don't think the contrast. So you can see what's happened here. After, just tweaks it that little teeny bit. This is so now I'm going to go back into my mask, clear it, and just having a think. There's no reason why. If I, just as an example, will try the similar colour. See if we can. Ooh, that looks awesome. Awesome. We'll undo that. Whereas if we can tease out some of these areas where the dusty stuff is. So no, it's not going to do it with a similar colour one, but we've still got others to our strings to our bow. One of the ones that you'll see advertised a lot is single pixel. This takes absolute ages, and it's all down to your mouse finger. You're just clicking the mouse, toggling them on and off. Put loads and loads of, just in the areas where you like to enhance things. There's a nice little area here. Just toggle them in and on and off. Looks a bit messy at first, but I'm just following where I've got these lines of dusty stuff. All I'm hoping to do is, using the colour module, see if I can add a little bit of extra colour here and there. I'm quite happy with this right now. I'm not going to muck about with that. Now if I grow it, you'll see that some of these add a few more speckles. Keep adding them in. Clicking away on my mouse. All this is what makes it all processing so special, really, because everyone's going to do this different, and every time we do the mask it's going to be different. Let's grow it a little bit. One more little grow, I think. We'll keep that. If I keep that and go into the colour module, keep the mask, and obviously you want to fuzzy it. So see if we can fuzz the mask a bit. Try and I didn't really want to put too much red in, so see if I can reduce the red. It was just an extra hint of blue I was after. So I'm reducing the red but increasing the blue. A bit too, without being too powerful. But it's only working where the hopefully you can get the I've got confused between before and after there. Surprising how little you need to adjust it. I've gone a bit too far now. After seems, to me, after looks a bit more subtle, but it's about, I'm just trying to show you what can be done here. My next little adventure, I'm just going to go into another do the contrast again. I tend to do that if you can, and you also get the chances of the option of putting the old dark anomaly filter up a bit. Seems tidy. I've still got some colour left in my stars. Now the one module I haven't used up to now is the life module, which can bring some interesting results back. I'm just forgetting about them up now. Depending which module you're on, which item you choose, isolate, shroud, whatever, it will give you a good effect, different effects, and some modules, some parts of the module use the mask and others don't. The isolate one, you can see the issue, that's using the mask that I had, so we can decrease its strength a little. How does one decide? It's up to you how you want it, but just by keeping that little mask that we had, we've sort of brightened it up. You can overcook these things, so let's take the saturation down as well. How bright do you want your galaxy? Sort of thing to do. That was on 12. Is play with the settings until you just do it slowly. Find out which ones you sort of like. I'll keep that for a minute. So I think it's quite pleasant. I'll keep the mask as it is. These little whirly swirly ones. I'll go back into the life module again, and this time I'll choose isolate, which is the one module. Now you see, really has a big effect. So the isolate one really does isolate the elements. So if I go back to my mask, clear it, invert, keep, and now do a do on isolate. See what happens? The isolate option in this module is quite powerful, and you need to sort of play with it selectively, I think, and it also takes quite some time to calculate and sort itself out. If I knew how to pause the video I would, but I don't, so you're just going to have to watch it the same as I am. There'll be a short musical interlude in a minute. Anyway, following my script. This is more or less where I've got to. Where I am now. Before I save the file. By isolating, I've isolated the whole thing, but I've lost a lot of my information around the outside, so definitely going to cancel that. So I quite like the sort of fuzzy, dusty stuff. Well, the last element is to hit the tracking button, stop tracking and do a final noise reduction. This is the big exciting bit. Just the idea is you're looking to, by increasing the pixels, to reduce all the, personally I just whack it up and see what happens, because it's not set in stone anyway. Leave the distance weighted out down here. This will just leave it as it is, the distance weighted rejection, whatever it is. This is just a bare bones run through. If you want to sit down each of these elements, modules, spend days in them, particularly the colour one. But it's not over even after all this is done, because we'll finish our tracking and all the rest of it. There's nothing stopping us from going back in to some of the modules and redoing some of the elements, just tweaking the image to our own little personal preference. I think I will try and pause this. Hang on, number 6, what we got? It's still going to take a while, so just let it do its. Hang on. There we go. Noise floor. Now when I get to this bit, this screen, don't know why, smoothness to me means a lot, so, but don't be afraid to push these up. Go mad. Zoom in. What we're trying to do is get a nice clear reduce as much noise as you can. Dependent, I mean this image has been binned. My computer's fairly fast, so it seems to like. You can zoom right up to pixel level if you want to. So much of this Star Tools, and any processing for that matter, is so down to personal preference and choice. Be surprised how much a lot of people seem to be a bit worried about how much about, oh, don't use these, don't use those, but to get the image you want, just boost them up, see what happens. You're not going to break anything, it just causes time. Sometimes what I do notice is, and you're so busy concentrating on the region of interest, sort of the galaxy, etc., you forget that the effect that your noise algorithms have is on the stars as well, so be wary that you can lose your colours. I think it looks a bit like I've done that here actually, but it's not too bad. I've still retained a few colour elements in the stars. It's definitely smoothed all that out now. See, I've definitely gone a bit wild here, I think. So we'll take that one back to its 0 point. See how my algorithm comes across now. Don't want to lose all my... It's compromise between smooth and smooth. That was a bit wild, wasn't it? It's like watching paint dry, isn't it? The proverbial timer. It's been a lot quicker than some of the ones I've done, because I pinned it 50%, so it definitely speeds up the processing no end. What I'm trying to do is smooth these areas out a wee bit. If you imagine doing this in Photoshop, there'd be masks all over the place. You spend days just getting to this result, and once you've got to this result, there's no reason why you can't go back into Photoshop with a TIFF file, which is what we're saving, which is a non-lossy type file, so the information is all still in there. It's one of these things about the files as well. A FITS file, FITS is just the carrier of information for the data within the file anyway. It's just a processor, a process of saying this file is XYZ, because within that FITS information the actual file can still be a TIFF. So TIFFs are good. Don't know. I've tried to smooth it. I know we can get it smoother than by upping these things, but I'm conscious of the time and people watching a video is getting on your nerves after a while. So I'm just gonna go with whatever it says now and keep it. To 10% on there. You get the idea. And the awesome thing is that there's no reason why you can't go back into the noise module once this is done. We'll do that quickly in a minute. Nearly there. So it's not perfectly smooth, but it's not too bad, so I'm going to keep it for now. Yeah, we'll live with it. It's a bit blurred. Perhaps I've gone a wee tad over. Perhaps try sharpening it. Again. Seems to work quite well. 45 seems like 145%. Let's keep it. The wispy stuff. Nothing reason why. What I'm doing now, we finished our processing effectively. A lot of people think that's the end of it, but there's no reason why we can't go back in and do a wee tad more. Same with the colour module and all the rest of it. We'll save that as, I'm going to save it as number 4. Don't forget, I'm using version 1.4 of Star Tools, so you have to put the extension .tiff yourself. Quite pleased with that actually. It's just, I think Bob's given me good data. I can see another galaxy there by the looks of it. But there is no reason why we can't go back in and tweak things back into the modules over again from this period. Before, after. Not easy to tell, but there is a subtle difference. Not so sure it makes a lot. This sort. Now we're into the personal. I've just gone back into the sharp module, try and add even more sharpness to it without making it too false. There you go. Lovely job, Lee. So we'll save that as number 4. Yeah, we'll overwrite it. Pretty as a picture, quite like that. I don't know what the heck that is up there. Something out of Star Trek, I think. Well, happy days. There you go. A good little process, that. Quite pleased with that. Bye for now.